This is just AMZN on Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021. I've got both Monday and Tuesday on here, yesterday and today, just to show kind of what was framing, like the framework I was looking at for today. And you can see a really clear retest of where we broke out from. So this was the breakout point, and we got in here that same level. And I missed this sitting in a dentist chair. So that didn't happen for me. And then we had, if I could draw straight, we had the same kind of resistance here. And then we had a little bit lower support. So it, it pulled down a little bit further than where this level was. But still just a really nice base. So really the really nice entry would have been buying at 8 with a stop down at 7. And it didn't quite make it up to 11. So it didn't quite make it 3 hours. And I thought, oh, great, it's coming back down here. It did such a great job putting in a base. I'm going to get an order set up for 8. And so I was buying, I went to turn that off. So I was buying with that setup, 8 by 7, was kind of annoyed on this candle when it only came down to 805. And then I got filled on the next candle. I'm like, well, that is kind of annoying. I don't want it to pull back even more. And then this candle came in. It's like, okay, it's going back up, right? It's back up to 810 is the high, or is the close. And then this candle came in, and that's when I'm like, oh, this isn't done pulling back. So being in these and watching, it's like, oh, it's not holding my level. And where you're running right back into the same resistance, it's just not rolling over on the put. I mean, it did roll over in the put, but later. And then the call actually pulled back further, and I was stopped out with some slippage here, just to see it go back up to 8, where I could have exited for break even. So I'm sure you've been there too. And then to see it do this, it's like, okay, I'm actually glad I was out for an R or a little bit more than an R, because that's not what I wanted to hold through, a pullback like this. So this is why you set a stop. And if you're using $100 risk, like I talk about, or if you double it for $200 risk and you get 2 contracts, whatever your setup is, you want to have that stop, that protective stop, to get you out. Even if it means a little bit of slippage, it's better than holding through this, where I would have lost half the value of the call from 8 down to 4, almost 4, well, 380. So and then here we ran right into that same resistance here, which was great. This is the 3000 put. So these are the same options you're looking at yesterday, the same ones that I drew in. Similar though, like the 3050 ran right back into that same kind of resistance, like the same level that this held here. We came into the same level on the put, but it pulled back a little bit further on the 5-minute on the stock. And that meant the call was pulling back a little bit further too. So it just didn't work. It's not something wrong with the setup, like buying the same price as a breakout, like it retested. That's a great place to buy again and to get in on a retest. It just didn't work today, and it pulled back further than I was anticipating. And so it went through my $100 risk. So it went past the $7 price. And I think it was actually 689 that I was stopped out. So that's 1.11 R loss. And again, I'd rather have that, even though it's an R plus a little slippage. Slippage is just part of it. It used to be an R, and then the commissions on top of that, in both directions, buying and selling. If you're losing, or buying to enter and selling to close, used to have commissions. Now we don't have much for commissions. There's still fee or whatever, depending on your broker. But anyway, the only thing that worked after this point was looking to see where it could retest and roll over to go a little more bearish. And that was right back into the 21. So if we zoom in on just today, had a really nice stair step here, a nice little consolidation right into 21, and then it hit it and rolled over here. So it got into it by a couple candles and just dropped, plummeted. And so depending on the option you're looking at, so the 3050 right now, you could have been buying, in here, like 10 by 9. It's a little risky because this came down to 880. Then this candle came down to 920. So yeah, maybe 10 by 9. So buying at 10, the limit buy, and stop at 9. And then your target is 13. And that would have filled pretty quickly. Or maybe you could have moved your target. So I've got in my rule to get into like with $100 risk. And then if I'm confident I can get the stop up to the 3R target, I can move the new target up to 8R, which would have been up here, which would have filled right towards the end of the day. I did not anticipate this kind of a sell-off. I thought yesterday we made the decision to go bullish and it would just continue. And it was a really nice candle trapping some folks from last week. And here we are right back down at this indecision level and needing to decide here, okay, are we going to bounce again and have, another sort of gap up? Can we get above this candle? I think once we get above, probably these candles here, I think we should be moving more strongly bullish, but that means really getting up to like 31.80, which is kind of the price that I was thinking we really would see about retesting that and possibly rolling over. We didn't even get that high. So today we got up to 31.63.52, not quite 31.80. So maybe there just isn't as much strength to continue bullish right now. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But if not the 30.50, looking back at the 3,000 put, this still gave you some opportunities to buy with a little bit of a tighter risk. So, or a tighter range. So really getting in at like 6 and a stop down at 5. That moved up 3R up to 9 right here. So even the 3,000 put worked and gave you kind of a better range. I didn't check some of the other ones. 30.25, I think. Oh, doesn't even exist. Okay, probably the 30.75 doesn't either. Oh no, it does. Okay, so this was really, really light volume. Let's see if 30.30. That had a little bit of volume here. Now really low. 30.20. I don't like that one either. How about 30.40? I know I'm jumping around a little bit. This had a little more volume. There's a little bit more volume yesterday. Still really, really sparsely spaced here. So probably the 30.50 that was comfortable or comfortable for the the candles. There was at least decent candles, only a few little like tick candles, and then the 3,000 that I had sketched on yesterday, that had it was a little bit light through here, but then it picked up obviously as you got a little bit more of the sell-off coming in. So we'll see if we continue to move down, then we may be watching the 3,000 put a little bit longer. The 3,200 call, we're going to have to get going bullish if we're going to keep tracking this one. We may need to move in a bit, maybe 31.75. That had some pretty good range. This was a little bit light, or pretty good candles. This is a little bit expensive at this point. If we do get some more selling, we'll probably watch on the 31.50. So just get a feel for things. So this had a really clear break here. Wow, look at that. That would have been nice to be watching that one. So obviously it's 31.50 is basically at the money during the day today. So like all through here is pretty much, I would consider at the money. I know at the money exactly is, right where we're trading. So like all through here, or at least this bit, we're at 31.50. That's at the money. This retested to 31.50. So put in a nice base here yesterday, came back down to that same low. But this, I mean, you can't do this with $100 risk. So, but it retested really cleanly, from down here to that price. That's the same kind of thing we saw on the 3,200. So the 3,200 call, it's I typed 3,100. There's my line. There we go. So 3,200 did the same thing where it came right back up to that $8 price and then rolled over. So that's how similar 31.50 and 3,200 are trading. Obviously, it's going the wrong direction, for the call to work, but you can still at least see, okay, we got a retracement back to old support as new resistance. That's the same place that we're running into the 21. That's a good place to be buying a put and flipping on the trade. So anyway, hope this helps. This is just AMZN. Thanks.